Hi, welcome back to Blessed Insights. I'm your host, Maddie. As we continue our Lenten journey, we turn our attention today to one of the most powerful and transformative teachings of Jesus, the Sermon on the Mount. Found in the Gospel of Matthew, chapters 5 through 7, the sermon is a blueprint for Christian living, a radical call to a different way of being in the world. Let's begin with the Beatitudes. Jesus starts with a series of blessings, but they're not the kind of blessings the world expects. Matthew 5:3, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." This isn't about material poverty, but about recognizing our spiritual need for God. Lent is a time to cultivate this humility. Matthew 5:4, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted." Lent is a season to acknowledge our own sin and the brokenness of the world. Matthew 5:5, "Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth." Meekness is not weakness, but strength under control. Lent teaches us self-discipline. Matthew 5:6, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled." Lent should ignite in us a deep desire for justice and holiness. Jesus continues, challenging conventional wisdom. Matthew 5:38 and 39. "You have heard that it was said, 'Eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth.' But I tell you, do not resist an evil person. If someone strikes you on the right cheek, turn to him the other also." This is a radical call to nonviolence and forgiveness. Lent is a time to break cycles of retaliation. In Matthew 5, verses 43 and 44, you have heard that it was said, 'Love your neighbor and hate your enemy.' But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you." This is revolutionary love, extending even to those who oppose us. Lent is a time to practice reconciliation. The sermon also addresses hypocrisy and the importance of genuine faith. Matthew 6:1 through 4, Jesus teaches about giving, prayer, fasting, and emphasizing doing these things in secret, not for show. Lent is a time for inward reflection, not outward displays of piety. Matthew 6:19 through 21, "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moth and rust do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." Lent is a time to reprioritize our lives, focusing on eternal values. To illustrate the timeless relevance of the Sermon on the Mount, let me share a story. In a small town, a church decided to put the teachings of the sermon into practice in a very intentional way. They started a program to welcome refugees, offering housing, job training, and community support. This was a controversial move in the town, with some residents expressing hostility and fear. The church members faced opposition, but they continued to live out Jesus' call to love their enemies. They prayed for those who opposed them, and they responded to hate with kindness. Over time, hearts began to change. People who were once suspicious started to see the refugees as individuals with stories and dreams. The town became a more welcoming and compassionate place, all because a group of people took the Sermon on the Mount seriously. This story, though simplified, reflects the ongoing challenge of living out the sermon's radical demands in our own time. The Sermon on the Mount is ultimately a call to transformation. It's not just about following rules, it's about becoming a different kind of person. Lent is the perfect season to embrace this transformation. It's a time to move from self-centeredness to other-centeredness. It's a time to move from judgment to compassion. It's a time to move from fear to love. As we journey through Lent, let us allow the Sermon on the Mount to challenge us, to convict us, and to transform us into the people God called us to be. Thank you for joining us on Blessed Insights. May the teachings of the Sermon on the Mount guide your Lenten journey and empower you to live a life of love, justice, and transformation. Until next time, may God bless you. And as always, stay blessed and have a great day on purpose. I love you all.